Hello viewers, this is Merop Media TV and my name is Merop. Today in studio we have a guest who is going to tell us his name, his political stand and many other things that we are going to discuss. Welcome on stage.
Thank you so much. Normally, a guest has a CV that precedes him and is used to describing or inviting in a panel like this. But in this case, you've asked me to do it myself, which is quite interesting.
Yes.
Yes, just as Joe, born to my parents from a county called Nyakach, Kisumu County, Nyakach constituency. And born to parents who were mostly quite spiritual parents, and also business people who lived a agrarian lifestyle to raise us up, and who were raised in very rich and competitive culture. You live along with your cousins, along with your uncles, and we did the things that people do as a community. Playing balls, play soccer, and in all those environments, I always found myself in front when matters were concerned. Moments when our team was underperforming and a goal had to be won, everybody would turn to me and I would deliver. Moment when our team, we had gone for athletics. I remember this one cheeky day, a moment that I was doing marathon race. I had done 18 laps, I got tired, I stepped out into the group in a way that people did not notice. Then I caught my breath. When they had gone the 21st lap, my team pushed me back. But guess what? I still went back in a style that was not noticed. And only went and won the race. And those are very interesting cheeky moments that when you remember how you were never caught, you tend to believe on how to then do things right. So as subsequently hoping number one was taken, and I had to now go and run the marathon full laps. And guess what? I did it. And this time, right, actually I continued to win number one. It was only my capacity, because those are the moments when we will be challenged to know that we may not be as able as the system was established. Because the moments when you go to school and you send home to get school fees, but it's not there. So when sometimes when the rubber will meet the road. But my attitude towards life had always been of living in the moment and never look down on myself. I never felt pity. I've always longed to fulfill my dreams one day at a time. Yeah, so this has grown to a number of things to date through family life, whether marital, and you said people don't propose on the panel.
Of course. That aside, I have seen you have a very nice CV,
Yeah.
and especially that you mentioned you grew up in a very Christian family background.
Oh yeah.
But on the flip side, you've been so strong in politics. I would wish to know, what are your motivations? What motivates you? Because the first time you went for a presidential seat in 2013, right? If I'm not wrong. Again, last election you were on the ballot papers. Now, what motivates you? Even though they say that in politics is a dirty game. How do you balance politics and the Christian life?
By the way, did you know that the name Kenya, that name alone, is actually a Hebrew word?
No, I didn't.
The Hebrew Ken means establish. Oh yes. Yah is a poetic contracted form of our creator Yahweh. You had most of us seeing Yahweh, Yesu, when it comes to when we are not referring to the appellations we use when we're not referring to a Peter in English. When you get to English, I'm going to start using God, Lord, God. But its proper names in Hebrew are Yahweh. And guess what? Kenya means establishing Yahweh. And sometimes the colonists did a good job when they took away our history, because we stopped to start asking some questions. Having studied linguistics, I came to realize that there are only two major linguistic branches in the world: Indo-Germanic and the Semitic. The Semitic languages are Akkadian, which is African languages, Arabic and Hebrew. And then the Indo-Germanic languages are now the other ones that we have. And we have lexical similarity in terms of words and the namings. And naming goes on to power. Because if you go back to the Bible times, somebody called Methuselah means death sent away. He was the longest living man. Adam means soil or earth. He was made from the soil. Noah means rest. During his time, according to the scripture chronology, the world was given rest. And even Solomon means peace. He's the only king who lived with no war during his reign. And then names connotate character of an individual. And there's power in the name. No wonder sometimes you'll find that in our ancient traditions, there used to be naming ceremonies because of invoking that power plus the spirit of the name, so that you may give it. And so this country is a spiritual country. And sometimes the root cause of injustices and spiritual phases is because of ignorance. And our law says ignorance is no defense. And again, the good book also says people perish for lack of knowledge. So this country is Kenya, established of Yahweh. And even our constitution is a social contract of common law procedures that people give to themselves. Actually, common law is simple, scriptures. So what we call common law. And the Constitution bestows all the citizens with inalienable rights that cannot be taken away by anyone. Those inalienable rights, like right to freedom, right to purpose, right to life, they cannot be taken away, even by an animal. If an animal took life of an individual, that animal was to be killed. To live another fellow human being. So, those rights need to be safeguarded by individuals who also understands the value of those rights. Actually, it's only the compradas, I call them compradas because they are the students of colonial leadership, colonial replacements. They are the ones who treat rights as privileges. Because they, with impunity, can kill, with impunity can steal, with impunity can lie, they can occupy spaces even where they don't wait. And then that apparently has been the standard norm on how people measure political leadership, which to me I think is very wrong. And there's one myth that needs to be busted, that good leadership is still also possible. And this good leadership, I would refer to, again, the good book, if you allow me, in Exodus 18:21, when Moses was told to elect leaders. Moses was told to elect leaders who had four qualities. In Exodus 18:21, one, he had to be somebody who fear our Creator. The first one was, he must be capable, able. In other words, they have merit. You give them the office to perform, they will perform. They give them duty to perform, they perform the duty. And meritocracy, as we talk today, I tell you, is really wanting in our political arena. The reasons why constituencies can't perform, wards can't perform. We have a constitution that can't be implemented. Yet we have a lot of money and financial budget, which just disappear in thin air. But poverty continues. Sicknesses keep on killing people. Those who have died, they are not here, they can't get back here to fight for themselves. But some of these things were avoidable causes. Yeah, so a leader must be able and capable. Able and capable. And then number two, he must be a leader who fear his creator, who fear Yahweh or include the Hebrews. Now, the fear of your creator means you can also then respect the rights of others, like right of purpose, right of freedom, and right of life. Anyone who would not fear their creator will randomly, without any remorse or recourse, take away other people's life. Well, I think some of these things are evident here, as we say. We have a government who can just take somebody, abduct you, play with your freedom like is a priority, is a privilege. And these are the things that are actually driving us and indignating us to stand up and showcase the alternative that is direly needed today. And the third one, he was supposed to be a leader who speaks the truth. Truth and political leadership has been endemic, like an endemic species. People think that honest leadership cannot be there. People always believe that leadership is just made up of bad boys and bad girl culture that is prevalent in the traditions that we know. And this is happening because of the colonial transition, because the colonialists, when they came, they did not go to the societies. They found those who had been chased away from the societies, excommunicated fellas who are at the gates outside. Those are the people who first collaborated with them.
Well, now that you even mentioned the government of the day, considering that you have been part of the Gen Z movement,
Mm-hmm.
and with the hashtag Ruto must go.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it, it is just past 2 weeks, and actually last week, there was a group, a number of people who hijacked the program and the movement. And of course, currently, their dream, their movement is rubbished. What are your thoughts? What are you going forward?
Rubbish, really? Unless that's what somebody is rubbish himself. Because the quest for change, you see, change is spontaneous, change is not static. And the people who have fought for change in this country, they're those who fought against colonialism and defeated the white man, and we hero-nize them. They're those who fought against the one-party system and brought in democracy, we hero-nize them. They're those who fought for democratization and review and reforms of the constitution. They are heroes. We can't remove them from the arena of heroes. They are heroes. But change is spontaneous, it's not static. And the change quest that we are feeling today reverberates and resonates with our people. If I give you an analogy of the world intellectual capability, human beings are classified in 4 categories. There's orangutan, which the scientist says has a DNA series of 3. There is gorilla, scientist says has a DNA series of 4. There is chimpanzees, ape, the scientist says has a DNA series of 5. And then there are Caucasians. Caucasians are whites. They are not fully developed human beings because their pineal gland that secretes melanin is calcified. And the DNA series is a factual scientific finding. It's all over. Its DNA series is 6. And you can't make it 8 or 7. It's 6. And then there's the blacks with fully functional human traits. They have DNA series of 9. Now, DNA series informs the intellectual superiority or your capability about to function. And for a while, the Caucasian have had obsession of trying to make themselves superior. You always, if you hear somebody says, I'm superior, we know something is wrong with that person. He's actually not superior. Those who are superiors never go around trying to prove to people that they are superior or we are superior. So this classification and obsession of trying to be superior among the Africans has led them to make a number of measures, and they've invested heavily on these measures. Some call them orders or agendas in terms of education curriculum or trade policies, health policies. And they try to refigure or fit the Africans within a diversity that is less than theirs. See, like the apes, mimickers, that just mimic what others are doing. That's how they are trying to trade. They are sponsoring. They fund these education curriculums very heavily. They fund these researches very heavily. If we are talking about social degradation, they pour a lot of money on these things. Why? To lower the Africans' culture and habituate, because human beings were habitual. What you do, repetition is learning. You keep reviewing, you keep learning, it becomes second nature of you. So they've habituated Africans in ways that make them live less below their intellectual capacity. And that is why even when you go to the medical field, they mimic prescription, but they can't invent. You look at our engineers, even in the roads, what's wrong with our products? Why can't they construct their own roads? Why are we still relying on outsiders to do these works on our behalf? And these are things that can be cured if we have leadership that understand who we truly are. But if you don't have leadership that don't understand you, because for a while we've been having leaders who are driven by their greed, by their selfishness, and ignorant. Ignorance means that they don't read, they don't study. And let me tell you, they populated our parliament. They are parliamentarians who never even read, yet they should be making laws. And they're illiterate. They can't even read. How would they make laws for you? No wonder executive will command them at their mercy, and they will do whatever executive says. And who suffers? The nation, because executive is under the wing of the outside communities. Right now, Bill Gates was bringing a legislation on livestock. This video he had been interviewed and said it the other day, and guess what? Today, do you know the livestock bill that Ichunga is sponsoring is exactly Bill Gates' interview word by word. And the other day they said they recommended that now we plant GMO seeds. It's a policy that passed in the parliament. And we know the side effects of GMO seeds. The education curriculum, known as it stands today, it's a major disservice to this geographical location, especially to our citizens. Because they teach you how to earn a living, but don't teach you how to live a life. You're not taught how to be a husband.
And actually, that is where the Gen Zs come in.
That's my point. So, the mindset of Gen Zs cannot be compartmentalized into age group, and that I caution anybody who is running with this mindset not to be caught up. And then you saw that Gen Z's reference is a creation that they're creating for you. That's like they're also trying to be busy creating leaders out there. Be wary when you see a conventional media popularizing somebody. Know that somebody is their project and has no interest whatsoever. And that's how we had issues of Raila, very popular. And this is like Naruto came on the popular platforms. But when you leave them to deliver and perform for the citizen, first of all, they are attended to the masters who created them. And who are these masters who created them? Those are the colonialists, whose interest is to make sure that this geographical location is turned into a client state, where they keep reaping hefty profits. They have imbalanced trade policies. Then they are bringing things here tax-free and selling them at a very cheap cost. Yet our goods, which are competing with theirs, have gone through very high cost of production, which actually end up elevating their prices. And guess what? Makes them be uncompetitive when you pair them together with these other ones. These guys have ignored even the resources that we have. We have natural resources, which are amazing in this country. Where you come from, there is nitrogen in your lake, Lake Victoria. And the capacity of the nitrogen in the lake, if it could be turned into a worthwhile commodity, because nitrogen consumption, we consume nitrogen, scientific activities, actually heavily. We import, actually.
You're given a chance to lead the Gen Zs as one of their president. Now that we've known over the past 1 month what they've listed, what they want, the government, the changes they want for themselves and the country at large. Given a chance to be their leader as a president, what would you change
Well,
to resolve their issues?
The question is a bit subjective. You see, the leadership is unilateral. And ideally, that is what the Constitution envisages. The Constitution does not visualize a Kenyan who is a dummy, who is foolish, who needs to be led, who needs to be guided. Our Constitution and the spirit desire that we have a bottom-up, where we have public participation in all the development agendas. And when we even work without even reviewing the current constitutional model, still you can use the structural assistance and still capture the needs of the people. Let me tell you, Kenyans are very unique individuals. These guys are geniuses. The resilience of Kenyans is not fathomable. Irrespective of the dire situation that they've been put through, these guys are still surviving. Look at the tax that people are paying. Close to over 38% of your salary. Whereas even the companies that are employing them are not paying more than 15%. These guys are paying 34, 38% of their salary. And they're still surviving. People are not dead yet. And you've seen their energy when they come out, whether in the name of Gen Z or as you're putting it, but when they came out to tell Ruto that enough is enough, away with your finance bill, we went all the way up to Parliament and took the place. Though we took bullets, we were shot. We lost quite a number. It's very sad. I've never forgotten to condole with the families. I keep on reminding them that it's not in vain, and that is why I keep waking up every morning to make sure that this move does not die. I know some people think that it's been rubbish. I tell you, these are major storms. This storm, Ruto tried attacking it before. When the Raila and Ruto conceptualized, it was just a Western colonial thing. They conceptualized BBI to close out any other or leadership ideology, and then they ran with the traditional concept and lock everybody outside. And then they said the train has left the station, and the train has no brake, and the train is playing reggae, and no one can stop reggae. What did we do? We told them that reggae or that train, that rail or bridge has no path, and we took that bridge, dismantled it into pieces, shattered it down. It fell with a big thud that today still the dust is covering it. They do not wipe the dust.
And of course it looks like you still having the strength. Now, going forward, what should we expect from Justice Juma, the president of Justice and Freedom Party? And of course, you've also been involved in the bullets. You have them as well. What should we expect?
These wounds have healed, but the pain has not gone. I know what it feels to have wounds in your tummy. I'm happy my parents raised me with no marks in my tummy. I might have gotten marks elsewhere. I have some decorations here, which were very painful. I visited hospitals where these people were being treated like Kenyatta Hospital. And then I found some of them were actually losing hope. And they could watch news and see Ruto and the things that Ruto were doing. Yes, they could think that this movement was defeated. And some were dead. Some were dead. I saw some in the mortuary. So a number of them are buried as we talk. And some, as some people are claiming, have been burned in the incinerators. Some have been dumped in the dump site. Some are still abducted. But they can't abduct the idea. They can't kill the idea. they can't kill the change quest. Actually, they can only strengthen it. As it stands, this thing is coming over now double with more force. If you've ever seen a tornado or Katrina in the ocean, when with the wind winds connects with the heavens, and it sweeps everything on its way. But guess what? The foolish politicians have decided to join the ship, who is being steered by somebody who is not even a skilled captain, and is sailing straight into the storm. And I think they're again playing reggae in it as the days of BBI.
Now that the right honorable right leader
is in that ship.
Over the years have been on the opposition leadership and crossed over. Should we give the position of leader?
Boy, until you like that ship, my friend. Jump out when there is still time. But the position of this leadership is earned, it's merited, it's not given to anybody. And if our work can speak for us, then we will allow Kenyans to trust us to keep on fighting. We are fighting. Even today, I've just come from court. The issues of we fought to have IEBC being formed, and there was election. Imagine, political party was supposed to elect one lady and maybe two men, or two ladies and one man, and then they decided and elected all three men. They did not respect the two-third gender rule. In the process of electing also, they overlooked the procedures on how to end up with the spirit of the law, which is to help us with a select committee which can enhance competitive selection process, which has consider or factors in merit and also understand the spirit of what Kenya wants. And this is why we're expanding that scope to have minority party and also majority party and also parties which are dependent to bring in a representative. We can represent them. And again, guess what? In conjunction with the registrar of political parties, these people have they've picked the people who the president wanted. And even if you were to look at the entire the total of 9. But today I was so surprised to hear that out of the 9, 4 are Kalenjins. What happened to regional balance? Is this a Kalenjin selection panel? Seriously, what is wrong? So, Gen Zs, I won't let you guys down. I went to court and stopped this thing, and they're going back to elections, those who did shoddy elections. So yes, we keep on fighting, and let's fight concretely. Those guys who are peddling the narratives of we are partyless, I think we are naive. They do not know us. Those guys who think that we are leaderless, they are also naive. This thing did not begin out of nowhere. It began somewhere. If you're wise enough, go back, trace back, like the book of Jeremiah 6:16. It says when you lost, you are at the crossroad. Go back to the ancient path where you lost the way, and you shall find rest for your soul. There is where you will know where this thing began, and you respect it. We can collaborate, we can work on the premise that there is merit, on premise that we also have the fear of our Creator, on the premise that we speak truth and we are honest, and also on the premise that we hate covetousness, as Moses listed them in Exodus 18 verse 21. And these guys are corrupt to the core. As I said before, in the organization, if the organization is not performing, you begin with the leader. If a football team is not performing, you go you change the coach. If a church is not performing, you replace the pastor. If the company is running in losses, you change the CEO. Whatever is trying to eat is the future of your child. And in Kenya, we are all Kenyans, irrespective of what tribe or where you're coming from. We all suffer together. Last time, the people from the central were taught, and they said, kumira kumira. Kenyans, let's think with posterity. Let's think with our brains, not with our tummy. And the leaders who think with their tummy, the tumbocracy. let's kick them as hard as possible, especially Ruto from that state and let him go.
What is your last parting shot to the Kenyans and the Gen Z suppliers?
Those who thought that change is difficult to come across, I'm telling you, I used to feel the same. Like Elijah in the Bible. Sometimes he did his own personal poll. And he only saw himself. So in his ways, speaking in the wilderness, he thought no one was hearing. And sometimes we feel like that. We speak. I think he heard our content. Let me tell you, the conventional media, they are so scared of us. They can't host us. Except a bold one like Merop.
I just did.
These guys sometimes make us feel like Elijah. Like I'm the only lone voice in the wilderness. But when he met his creator reminded him that you're not alone. There are over 9,000 who have not bowed down to Baal. And Baal, in the Bible, I think Ruto is a Baal resurrected. Because Jezebel, who was bringing foreign gods, we've seen in this country when we were brought for prophets from America. That guy follow his traits and his character on the other side. It's someone who has even confessed in the public and actually stopped these international missions because of his lifestyle. He has a lot of integrity questions. And then you spend our money and just like those days, do you know what Elijah told them? Is it that there are no prophets in Kenya? Is it that there are no prophets in Africa? Is it that there's no prophet in this land? Just like the days of Jezebel and Baal, that is where we're finding ourselves in. And the Gen Zs, let me tell you, this thing has just begun. If you thought that they finished you, let me tell you, because I know where this move began and I know where it is going. We've not even scratched the surface. There are things that if we unleash, and this is why I do advise Gen Zs, let's stick in our campaigns, in our engagements. Let's take it around the issue-based programs. Let's engage in issues. Let's fixate it on issues. Let's focus on issues. This regime change, these political distractions, the leaders are trying to create for you, pump them. We are going to make it happen. And let me tell you, when we stick on the issues, like tonight, I have a space we're discussing education. These guys will disappear. The regime change will occur like you never even thought of. It will come so quick. But one thing I must guarantee you, it won't reach 2025. Because the day before Ruto was sworn in, we told him if he continue with impunity, if he continue with the disregard of the law, if he continue with vendetta, which he has done, he had issues that day before he was sworn in, he had issues with the governor. Where is the governor today? He had issues with the 4 commissioners. Where are they today? Are they dead or are they alive? Media, go and ask for us. Find out where those guys are. They're all refugees that are not in this country. Where are they? Because of this one person from Sugoi sitting in State House thinking that he's president for life, we will kick his back. And the simplest hashtag we've been running out of there is that Ruto must go, and let him go with all of his international colleagues.
Thank you so much. That was Justice Juma, the General Party Leader at Justice and Freedom Party. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for coming.
You're welcome, Merop
Thank you.
Media. And see you again.